Greetings, everybody, and welcome once again to the RecPoker podcast. My name is Steve Fredlund, and I'm your host for the podcast. Before we go any further, just want to give a quick shout out to the Free Poker Network, who's sponsoring the podcast. If you don't know about FPN, check it out, man. It's a great way to play poker for free in area bars, work on your game, get to know some great people, and ultimately find yourself through the bars to the region, to the state, and ultimately to Las Vegas playing for a national championship and maybe getting a seat in a World Series of Poker event. So check them out. Today we're doing things a little bit different. Normally we try to do some strategy discussions or we try to interview some local players, and we'll get back to that in a little bit, but we just finished our All In for Africa VI. And as many of you know, not only do I host the RecPoker podcast, I also coordinate the All In for Africa charity poker tournaments as part of my broader involvement in some humanitarian efforts in Rwanda and throughout East Africa. And so we just finished this tournament, and what we did is we're going to recap a little bit, but we also did some interviews on site with some of the players who were playing in the tournament. So you'll get a chance to hear from the likes of John Somsky and Mike Schneider, Desiree Kramer, Michael Love, myself, Taylor Moss, Will Horton, and unfortunately we had a couple others, Mike Qualley included, who we couldn't really hear because of audio. So sorry about that, Mike. We'll have to get you on at some other point and have a specific interview with you. So this one is really dedicated to All In for Africa VI. It was a great turnout, about 130 people, I think 129 people, unique individuals who did a bunch of rebuying, a bunch of add-ons, and we ultimately raised over $13,000, which will go directly to the Against Malaria Foundation. And just to put that in perspective, we received a letter from the Against Malaria Foundation after our last All In for Africa, where we raised about $14,000. And what they said was this: this will be used to buy 7,487 long-lasting insecticidal mosquito nets, which will protect about 13,500 people at night, and this will prevent them from contracting malaria. That's 27 entire villages. Brilliant is what they said. So the impact from this is absolutely staggering, and for those of you who have been involved since the beginning, this is our sixth one. You know that we've also done clean water efforts, nutrition projects, and now malaria. And as also some of you know, I've had a chance to go to Rwanda 4 times over the last 7 years. I've seen firsthand the impact that we are having as part of the Minnesota poker community and raising money for this. And I can't tell you how thankful I am. As I mentioned at the event, when you guys look around, you're having fun playing the tournament, donating money. What I see for every buy-in, every add-on, every person that's there is I can see the impact, and I can thank you on behalf of the people of Rwanda and throughout East Africa. So thank you for that. I want to give a couple more thank yous as well before we get into some of the interviews that happened. We had great players that played as bounties, and many of them donated their own prizes. So if you know people that played as bounties, thank them. Often they donated their own prizes, whether that was cash or something else. We also had a number of other donors, organizations, including Canterbury Park, Running Aces, the Timberwolves, the Twins, Mike Loveless, iHeartMedia, including Cities 97 and K-Talk 1130, Kicker Problem, Kicker Power, Blue Shark Optics, Lake Show Sports, the RecPoker Podcast, Straight Flush Poker Tour, and the Free Poker Network. And I also want to give a special shout out to Chris Nelson, who donated all of the printing for the flyers. I know you guys that are bounties, you love seeing your face on those posters and stuff. Chris Nelson is the one who donated his time and resources to make that happen. And one of the cool things, we actually got a big applause at the event when I shared how part of this is trying to unite the Minnesota poker community. Many of us had different backgrounds, different perspectives, but one of the cool things is that this event was held at Canterbury Park. We rotate spring at Canterbury, fall at Running Aces, but this one was at Canterbury Park, and Canterbury paid to have 2 Running Aces staff come down and play in the tournament. They paid their entry fee. And the 2 from Running Aces brought with them tournament lammers and some swag from Running Aces to give as a bounty. And so that actually got a big applause because I think people are excited when they see Canterbury and Running Aces and the poker community really coming together for the sake of helping those that are in need. So that was a really, really cool thought and a really cool thing that happened there. So one more thing before we go in, I want to thank Pete Troolin, Leanne Larson. Pete was conducting the interviews on site, And as you'll be able to tell, Pete and I do a podcast. We actually do a couple of podcasts together. We have a radio show. We call it the Pete and Steve podcast, if you want to check that out. So Pete and I do a lot of podcasting together, but Pete knows nothing about poker. And so I had him come on site and do some interviews live during the tournament. And some fascinating moments there as Pete is interviewing the likes of Mike Schneider. And one of my favorite moments you'll hear is where Pete asks Mike, who's a pro, who's in the Minnesota Poker Hall of Fame. He asks Mike if he's ever had a straight flush. And so just phenomenal conversation. But thank you so much, Pete and Leanne, who are volunteering with us all day, including doing the podcast interviews and stuff. Just a great event. And thanks to Taylor Moss, who brought some life to the All In for Africa Twitter account. And feel free to follow that. It's just All In for Africa. Taylor did a great job with contests and getting people excited and getting the word out about what we're doing. So I could thank people on and on and on. I've probably gone on too far, but if I haven't thanked you in person and you were part of this deal, thank you so much. The impact is huge. Now let's go on and let's hear from some of the people that stopped by to share a word at the event.
So first of all, just tell me your name and why you like playing this tournament.
I'm John Somsky, and I like doing anything for a good cause.
Okay. And you like playing poker?
Oh, of course.
Yeah. You look the part. You look great.
Thank you.
So, and what do you think Steve's chances are of winning this tournament?
Is it possible for it to be a negative percentage? No.
He's going to be editing this, so he's going to probably switch it around. So.
Actually, I think he's a pretty decent player. He has a shot at doing it. But when you have that big of a bounty on you, it's not real likely.
Yeah. There's a lot of good turnout today, so there's a lot of people playing. A lot of good players, too.
This is a good tournament, fun group of people, and I encourage more people to come out at Aces later this year or back to Canterbury next year.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Yep.
Just maybe start us off with what's your name and why do you like playing in this tournament?
Yeah, my name is Mike Schneider, or Schneids as I might be known in the poker world, and I like playing this tournament just because I enjoy trying to support charitable causes and feel like that charity in poker is a good way to help promote the game of poker in a positive way and try to improve the public perception of our game that we all love to play.
Yeah, great. So what do you think Steve's chances are of winning?
Well, probably not too good. I mean, he's got a target on his back, and especially, offering the bounty on unlimited times until he busts, people are going to be gunning for him, and that makes it harder unless you make hands, and it's hard to make hands in poker.
Yeah. So you just won a couple bounties, and tell us what you won.
Yeah, I won $50 cash from one player, and from another player it was couple of discount codes for Blue Shark Optics and Kicker Power gear.
Oh, great. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So have you ever gotten a straight flush?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you really?
Yep. Yeah, I don't even remember the times. I have several times. I've played professionally for 13 years now, so it's happened a few times.
You're professional?
Yeah.
Wow. You got a royal flush?
Yeah, yep.
Really?
Wow. That's great. So that's the best hand you can get, right?
What's
Yeah,
the
yep,
most money
nothing
you
better
ever
than a
won?
royal flush. In a tournament I won $1 million in 2006.
You did?
That's,
Really?
Yeah. Yep, that's the most.
Wow.
He is a professional.
Yeah, apparently so. I didn't realize I was in such company. Wow, that's great. That's cool. Yeah, well, I guess that's all the questions I have. Do you have anything you want to add before?
I guess nothing else other than another reason I like playing this tournament. Just for me, I take it a little less seriously than some of the other tournaments. So especially the first few levels, I'm playing all the hands I wish I could play when I'm playing more seriously, but it's fun to just let loose and call with a lot more hands, re-raise with a lot more hands, and for the pros out there that haven't come and support this, that'd be another reason to next time, just to relax a little bit and see the flop almost every hand the first few levels.
Yeah. Cool. Hey, well, thank you so much for stopping by. That's fantastic.
Yeah, yep.
Thanks. So just maybe first tell us your name and why you like playing in this tournament.
Desiree Kramer, and I love coming out and seeing all my friends and helping a good cause. It's important. Steve really does a lot of advertising for this, and I try to jump on board with that, and it's just a nice occasion to help out and see all the people that you love and that you may not get to see all the time.
Yeah, that's one of the things I notice as I look around. I mean, it seems like a community, really. I mean, people, know each other and are friendly. And I mean, there doesn't seem to be any kind of animosity between players.
No, it's nice because it's really good-hearted fun, and even when you bust out your friends, especially in a tournament like this, nobody's upset over it. They're just going to rebuy. They're just going to donate more to the cause, and so you don't have to feel bad, which is nice. It's not like when you're playing a main event where you have to feel bad. If you bust your roommate or your friend or something. Here, people are just going to buy back in.
Yeah, cool. So earlier we were talking about professional versus non-professional. Now I don't play poker. I don't know anything about it. Is there like a clear-cut definition between what makes someone a professional? Is it like if you make your main living off of poker or not?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a really loaded question because there's a lot of well-known poker players from Minnesota that outside of Minnesota wouldn't be considered to be professionals.
Okay.
So I would say, at least my definition would be a professional would be somebody who plays full-time, and that's their livelihood. But there are plenty of other great players that have made a lot of money playing. They have a really respected game, and I would consider them to be, professional to semi-professional level. I think it's a tough meaning, though. There are a lot of poker players that do it for a living that are not successful as other poker players that don't do it for a living.
Oh, interesting. Right. So what do you think Steve's chances are of winning the whole tournament?
0.
Okay.
Yeah.
That seems to be the consensus here as I've asked.
Well, I mean, I love Steve, but I think it's a long shot for anybody, especially when there's so many people still left in to say, they're going to be, I'll place odds on them, they're going to win. I mean, it's just not. It's too far. I mean, maybe if we get down to like the top 5, maybe I would put a little money on him. But at this point, with 67 left, it's probably not going to happen.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Is there anything else you'd like to say before you go?
No. I mean, I love the Minnesota poker community, and it's I would say 90% of my friends play cards, and it's been so great. And moving back to Minnesota, and being able to get to know so many people playing cards, and making some real friends for a lifetime. So.
Cool.
But,
wow. Thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you.
That's great. Tell us your name and why you like playing in this tournament.
First name is Michael, last name Love. I really enjoy playing because it's a charity event. It's very great cause and a lot of great players that come out to support it. So I enjoy being part of it, actually. So
Great. And what do you think Steve's chances are of winning the tournament?
Oh, Steve, I don't know. He's pretty sketchy there. I don't know. Just joking. He's a pretty good player, actually, so he has a good chance. I mean, there's a lot of good players left, and he's one of them, so he has a good chance.
So, now I don't know anything about poker, but just kind of a question. How much of it is the cards that you get? How much of it is skill? How much of it is body language?
Well, to break it down, I personally, a lot of it's, the cards got a small portion to do with it, but a lot of it's just reads and kind of going with the flow. But cards do play a small part.
Okay. And what do you rely most on? Is it Is it reading people's body language, or?
It's a little bit of everything. Just how tight the table is, or the flow of the game. If the person raises a lot, just different aspects. Just goes into my decision making. But it's a lot of different factors actually.
So what's the most, if I can ask, the most money you've ever won at a tournament?
I would say the most I've won is $10,000.
Okay, nice. Yeah.
It was actually there was a league I was playing in, and it was a main event seat, so it was a $10,000 main event seat, so that was pretty cool.
Wow. And do you still remember the hand that you had and how?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually was balanced me and a guy named Todd Fisher. He's a really good player also. We was heads up and we was going back and forth, and the chip lead kept changing, and we got it in. I had ace queen against his ace king, and I ended up winning the hand.
Oh wow!
And it worked out, so
yeah,
pretty cool.
Wow, that's great. Well, anything else you'd like to add before we wrap up here?
Oh yeah, I had a great time playing. Always a fun event, and I look forward to playing again. So
okay, great. Hey, well, thanks for stopping by.
No problem at all.
All right, well, first tell us your name and why you like playing in this tournament.
Man, well, I love this tournament. My name is Steve Fredlund.
It's organized so well.
It really is. I mean, special thanks to Pete and Leanne for organizing, all of this. So I just busted the All In for Africa tournament. Played well, had some good spots, but ultimately.
What hand did you go out on?
Well, I almost kind of hate to admit it a little bit, but I had an ace 3. And I raised pre-flop just trying to steal some blinds and antes, which I know you know a lot about, Pete.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that makes total sense.
It was a semi-bluff. I was in late position with ace-3 suited. It's a pretty good hand to raise pre-flop, and I got 2 callers. And the flop came with an ace in it, which is a good thing, but ace 10-8 with 2 diamonds. I didn't have any diamonds, and somebody just went all in right in front of me. And so I had to debate, what do I do here? What do I think that they have? And a lot of times that's what we call a semi-bluff. A lot of times that person will have 2 diamonds, so they just have a flush draw. They really don't have anything, but they're putting a lot of pressure on the other players. And then if they do get called, they could still hit their card for the win. So I had to decide if I thought she was actually had a big hand or if she was just making a play. So I wrestled with it, and I didn't have a lot of chips left at that point. I think I'd put in I don't even know, 7,000, and I had like 14,000 left. So the pot was pretty big, so I decided that she's probably on a draw, and I called her. And unfortunately, she had ace-8 and had already hit 2 pair, and so I was drawn pretty dead. So, but I was kind of lucky in the whole turn. Well, not the whole tournament. I played well, but I got really lucky in one hand. And the audience will appreciate this. I had to go all in with ace-9 at one point in the tournament, and I got 4 people to call me because everybody wants the bounty, right? I had like $220 on my head, and whoever knocks me out gets like $220. Like, sweet, let's all call, So they had a party at my expense, but the flop came like 9-8-7, which I have ace-9, so I hit the top pair, and I have an ace kicker, which is a pretty good hand. It's a little vulnerable because people could have straights and that kind of thing. But anyway, somebody like makes a huge bet at the pot, so I think, well, I'm in trouble. And the other people all folded. And the guy flips over ace-4. He had absolutely nothing. He was just making a play thinking that I had maybe king high or something and wanted to get everybody else out of there. And I'm like, sweet! So then my hand held up, so I got like a quadruple up there. So then I had chips, and then I had pocket queens, and I beat pocket jacks. So I started building a stack again. But then the blinds are so big, it just eventually ran out of real estate. Really tough guys I was playing with. Your Max Havlish and some of these guys I was playing with at the last table are tough players.
Well, that's what I heard too. One of the guys that we interviewed early on, he said he was at a table and he just couldn't do anything. Everyone was so good. So. Yeah,
there's a lot of. I mean, it's such an interesting mix. Like I was playing with a guy he's playing his first casino tournament at all, and then I'm playing with guys who have won like. World Series of Poker events and this sort of thing. So it's an interesting mix of players, but just a great time. We raised like $13,000. I don't know if you heard that announcement. Just fantastic. So good stuff.
Well, and one of the things that strikes me is just the community of, you see people shaking hands and laughing and, hey, how are you doing? I haven't seen you for a while. And I mean, I just love that kind of community that's been built up around here.
Totally. And I think, part of that's the All In for Africa. People say it's their favorite tournament of the year because it's just a lot of fun. It's a different feel than the sort of intense poker that can be. But yeah, we've got people, Bill and Diane Freed, Jim and Carol Miles. These guys all come down from like hours away, like 3-4 hours north of the cities.
Wow.
And they come down for this event. Just because they love the community, they love to get to know people, and they're super generous people as well, so they like to be part of this as well. But yeah, super cool. The community is fantastic. I mean, the people I've met, really, really cool. Just I'm going around thanking everybody for playing, and in the meantime, they're thanking me for having the event where they have an opportunity to give back.
Yeah.
So it's a cool mix of people. But you've been doing 1 minute remaining at this level.
Yeah.
And this is where the point where I wish I was in the tournament. Yeah. I hate hearing that, saying that doesn't impact me at all.
Yeah.
So how's the interviewing been going?
It's actually been very interesting. We had some sound problems at the beginning, like the first 2 or 3. I'm not sure. You'll have to take a listen.
Yeah.
But after that, we had a couple, 3 or 4 really good interviews. Sound was good, and the content was good too.
Just like microphone setting kind of stuff, or just?
Yeah, okay. I think I turned the gain down. To try to eliminate some of the background noise, and it turned out to be too quiet, and a couple of the people were sitting back too far.
Sure.
So.
Okay, well, thanks for doing it, though. Yeah. Are you learning a lot about poker? Are you and Leanne ready to go hit the felt?
Oh, by the way.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to pop in here again because Pete loves when I pop in when he's interviewing people. So, Pete, I know nothing about poker. Pete probably knows more than me about poker. So this poor guy, Pete was interviewing him, and I'm chiming in. Well, he's like a professional poker player and has won like $1 million.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, I hope we didn't offend him. I hope I didn't offend him.
Well, she was lumping me in there. Oh, we're idiots. We're such idiots. And I'm like, don't lump me in with your...
It might be true, but don't call me out.
Yeah, right. I'm trying to pretend, trying to fool people.
Who was it? Do you remember who was? I mean, I'll listen to it, but was it Jonathan Kim by any chance? Is he over there in the pink shirt playing right now? No. Okay.
I don't know who he was, but
sweet. That's awesome.
Yeah, and then we had I was concerned that. If we were asking too basic of questions for your sophisticated podcast audience.
I think they were just having fun. It was fun that people came over and shared a little bit.
Yeah,
cool. Well, thanks for doing it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I did look up some poker terms.
Oh.
What is nuts? Do you know what nuts is?
Well, I do, but yeah. So
that guy's got nuts.
No, actually not. The nuts is the best possible hand that you could have in the situation. So if the board is, ace, king, 10, 7, 3, and there's no 3 of a kind with a suit, I forget what I said, ace, king, 10, 7. So then if you have queen, jack, you have a straight, and that's the best possible hand you can have. So that's the nuts.
Okay.
Yeah. Did you know that you were quizzing me?
I was quizzing you.
I didn't realize how the game was being played.
I've got one more here.
Oh, sure, I'm
What's
ready.
the dead man's hand?
Oh, aces and eights.
Yeah. Do you know what it is?
Yeah, it's the one he got shot.
Yeah.
Aces and eights.
Aces and eights.
Yeah, there's a song about aces and eights. There's like a Snoop Dogg song about that. This is like the...
See how she wants to needle in here?
How does Snoop Dogg get involved here?
But this is like, because this podcast is really taking off, I'm like the producer on the radio that you hear that like chimes in from the background.
Yeah. The color.
The Sam Sansevier of radio. Right, little shout out there.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah. Well, anything else you'd like to say before we let you go?
I might come back in, but I'm going to go commiserate with my I see plenty of my friends sitting here on the rail also watching that have been busted, but I see like a Carl Woodington. I see him. He's still in the tournament. He's our defending champion.
I remember that. I recognize him. Yeah.
So he's still plugging away there. A lot of familiar faces. Looks like we're down to about 45 people or so out of the 129, I believe, that started.
And Stacy's still in.
I saw Stacy still. I saw him. I saw him stand up at one point. I thought he was going to bust, and so I don't know if he won it all in or if he was just stretching or not. I'll have to get the story there. And see Will Horton here in the Chicago Blackhawks jersey.
Yep.
He's been a little reserved. He's usually a little more.
We were trying to get him over here.
And
We haven't really yet.
Maybe he's trying to play his A game.
Well, he got 2 warnings. Did you hear that?
Well, I heard that because he was going on sitting at the wrong tournament table.
Yeah. So, do you have any idea at this point who's ahead or behind or the top or
yeah, you can go around and look at chip stacks. There's a guy in my table that's got collected a number of bounties, and he's got a pretty big stack of chips. So, at this stage in the tournament, the chips can move quite a bit. But there's obviously, if you walk around, you'll see like who's kind of loading up here. I don't know if Mike Schneider's still in.
No, that was the one that I was. That's the one we interviewed.
Oh, Mike. Okay, yeah. He's one of the 2 people. I think there might have been a third now. He's one of the 2 or 3 people that are in the Minnesota Poker Hall of Fame. He won an online tournament for like $1 million.
Yeah, that's what
the one he was talking about.
Yeah.
But that was an online and live game. He plays a lot of cash, but tournaments too. Just a super solid guy. I've actually done one of the podcasts. I broke down a hand that I played with him in a tournament one time where I think he just bullied me. I'm pretty sure. And so I don't know because we never saw the cards. But yeah, he's a super nice guy, but an incredible player. A lot of respect for him. Leanne's laughing because apparently she must have embarrassed herself.
Yeah, I'm afraid of.
Here's the magnificent John Somsky walking by.
Yeah.
What are you doing on the rail, man?
I don't know, but I predicted it. I said, he asked what your chances were for winning, and I said, is it possible to bet below 0%?
I think everybody we talked to said, when we asked, they said 0.
0 or negative, yeah.
John's a tough player. Ante Up Magazine, right?
Yep.
Yeah, fantastic. But we're all just sitting here watching Rob Washam. I see he's looking around.
What? Yeah.
What are you looking around for? Get over here.
I'm watching Carl and Stacy.
We got some good representation still left from our home game, but too many of them are standing on the sidelines. Washam, what happened to you?
My kings weren't good enough.
You lost with kings too?
Yeah, against aces.
Was that the quad aces?
Will got you. Do you know that Bryant lost kings back-to-back hands?
Yeah, that's what you told me.
Yeah. so pocket kings are apparently the hand to lose
Yeah,
with
you don't
today.
want pocket kings in this game.
No, bad hand. Bad hand. Yeah.
Just you get pocket kings pre-flop. Just
Fold them. Yep. All right, buddy. Well, I'll let you go.
Okay.
Thanks.
Sounds good. Thanks.
All right.
All right. Well, let's just start off. Tell us your name and why you like playing this tournament.
This is Taylor Moss, and I'm good friends with Steve. I'm usually on this RecPoker podcast, so had to come out, support the cause, and Steve actually put my seat up there because I won one of the Twitter contests.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
cool. And you know you're out of the tournament, right?
Yes,
Can you tell us about your last hand?
It was actually a very interesting hand. So someone in early position opened with a raise. I called from the button, and the small blind went all in for about 5,200 in chips. I had about 10,000 myself, and the original raiser called, but flipped over his hand right away, not knowing that I was still in the hand. So I had the information of knowing that he had ace-9 of diamond, or excuse me, 8-9 of diamonds. I had ace-10 offsuit, and I decide since I'm ahead of his hand that he has right now, I'm gonna go all in myself. And he has to call me because he's already got some chips committed. But the flop came out with 3 diamonds, so I was instantly dead there.
Oh no! So that was just bad. A bad. What do they call it? A bad blind?
Bad beat.
Bad beat. Yeah.
Yeah, I took advantage of the situation. So maybe it's karma coming back for me.
Yeah. So how long have you been? You're kind of a younger guy. How long have you been playing poker?
I've been playing poker for quite a while. I probably started when I was really young, just playing a little bit with my dad as he was like teaching me the game. Then when I was in college, I liked to play a little bit here at Canterbury. And yeah, I'm trying to get back into it a little bit more. I took some time off of not really playing a whole lot of poker, but I'm, trying to get out there, once a month or so and play some tournaments.
And why did you take time off?
Starting a full-time job, other priorities got in the way. I got married, those types of things. Just, don't have as much free time for poker.
Yeah, right. That's a little kind of hard to explain. Going away again, honey.
Yeah.
And now you've been married for a while, so now she's like, play whenever you want. Go out of the house.
Yeah. Interesting story is we're having a baby shower for my sister-in-law at our house today, so I have to be out of the house. That's why I'm still here. I busted like 2.5, 3 hours ago.
How convenient.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. So, if I can ask, what's the biggest prize you've ever won?
So at Canterbury here, they had a $235 Wednesday tournament that they run every week. Probably about 2.5 years ago or so, I got second place in there for like $3,500.
Wow, nice.
So that was my big take, and I haven't been able to top that yet.
Yeah.
That paid for the wedding.
It actually, we were moving into a house right after that, so it helped pay for the down payment. It was very conveniently timed.
That's perfect. Well, that's so do you have anything else to say, add before we go?
I got nothing. I'm on the RecPoker podcast quite a bit, so you hear my opinions on a lot of things, but wanted to chime in and let you know how bad I got it in.
Well, and I've said this to a couple of the people I've talked to. One of the things I love about this is just the sense of community that I get with all the players here. I mean, there's no animosity. I mean, there's money involved, but people are just so friendly and.
Yeah, the tournament poker scene, especially here in Minnesota, it's grown a lot, and everyone is kind of happy when someone else wins. So it's kind of like they're all one big team, and it's just like, yeah, it's your turn to win this tournament now. Go for it.
That's so great.
It's great. Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Hey, well, thanks so much for stopping by.
All right. Thanks.
All right, so I'm sitting here with Will Horton, otherwise known as Black Spade on Twitter. Will just busted. Now we're down to 2 tables, all in for Africa, and he just busted.
I did. I had 5s and I couldn't hold on. This is a great event. I encourage everyone to come out and play. Every time you have the event, great calls, great people. It's just a great time.
Thank you. What we appreciate is you bring so much life and energy to things. We had a whole room full of great people, but you bring this life, you bring this energy, you get people fired up, and I appreciate that. Even though you wear a Blackhawks jersey.
Well, the whole idea is to bring people together, as you said before. Bring everybody together, our community, and you have to have somebody who's kind of a little different, a little loud, a little obnoxious, and that's kind of me. But like I said, you have a great program. Yeah, but this is awesome. I love it, and I look forward to it every year, twice a year, and I really appreciate you inviting me and being a bounty. It's about bringing everybody together and have a good time, and it's an awesome cause.
Thank you. We love having you. Yeah, raising money against malaria, and we've done clean water, we've done nutrition, and you've always been incredibly supportive of all of that. So thanks for your support and encouragement. And I'm waiting for you to win this thing, though. What happened?
We came close last year. This year, just tough cards. Just tough cards. You just can't beat everybody all the time.
Now, there was a moment when I was watching from the rail because I busted, of course. I'm still over 6 cashing my own event. but I'm watching you, and all of a sudden I see this home run swing. Like, what was that? What was going on
that was Ace Deuce of Spades against.
Ace Deuce of what? I'm sorry.
Ace Deuce of Spades against.
I'm sorry, spades. You like?
I love the spades.
All right. Anyway, Ace Deuce of Spades.
Smart guy. Ace Deuce of Spades against Queen 10 of Diamonds and Jack King of Diamonds.
Ooh.
So we have diamond on the board.
Did you get it in pre-flop or on
Pre-flop.
Okay.
And
no 2 diamonds on the board.
Yeah. So no flush or no straight came in.
And no 10 Jack Queen or
no,
king?
Nothing came in.
So you never hit the ace?
I never hit the ace. Ace high won.
How's that even possible? So no diamond, no 10 Jack
No
Queen?
Nothing. Yeah, it was very, very lucky, and I feel like Ken Griffey Jr. Just hit it out the park, baby. Just hit it out the park.
That was awesome. That was a fun moment. Yeah.
No. Once again, I love the program. I love this. I'm looking forward to doing it again. And anytime you need me for a bounty or anything, you let me know. Great call.
We'll have you every single time.
Every time.
All right. Thanks, Will.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. Well, there you have it. Not too bad for our first time recording it, All In for Africa. I think this might be something we try to do going forward. It was sort of fun to capture many of the thoughts, even though I didn't realize Pete was going to be asking people what the chance was that I would win. That was kind of a surprise question, and but what wasn't so surprising is the chance of me winning was basically zero by everybody from the recreational player up through Schneider. So I guess I've got some work to do on the RecPoker podcast to try to build up the credibility where at some point somebody says, I think he's going to take this thing down. But I got some work to do. So we'll keep working on the RecPoker podcast. We'll keep trying to build our skill set ultimately so myself and that all of you guys that are listening feel more and more confident about your game so that ultimately you too can be an All In for Africa champion. As somebody mentioned, we do have a tentative date announced of September 30th. That will be at Running Aces for All In for Africa 7. If you want to be a bounty, get a hold of me early. We love filling up that poster with faces of people that are going to be the bounties. So I'll be reaching out as we get closer, but the more people that I know of in advance, the easier the whole process is. So if you want to be a bounty or if you want to come and play, we'd love to have you there. All right, until next time, I appreciate you listening.